I can barely make out the road 700 feet below us while the rotors lick at the solid overcast above. I'm flying an Alouette 3 to the small hospital in Bryan, Texas, where a 5-year-old girl beaten unconscious by her stepfather needs to be airlifted to the trauma unit at Herman Hospital or she'll die. My hands turn sweaty. Without night vision goggles, I lean forward, straining to make out a single car's headlights below when it happened. Vertigo immediately seizes my senses. I begin to fight to maintain control. What's my reciprocal heading? I scan the crude instruments and begin a slow right turn away from rising terrain, then level out and begin a gentle descent, hoping to break out of the overcast before we hit the ground. 5 minutes later, I land in the parking lot at Hempstead Hospital that we'd overflown earlier. I watch the doctor and nurse climb into a ground ambulance that will take them to Bryan, leaving me alone, stunned, wondering how could I have allowed this to happen. 3 years later in my crew resource management class, they talked about hazardous attitudes, invulnerability, machoism, and press-on-itis. Feeling invulnerable, I was in denial of a dangerous situation developing, thus I was inclined to take unwise risks. Because the HEMS concept was new, I was overeager to show everyone in the program, including myself, that I had the right stuff to be one of the team and prove the HEMS concept in America. I also exhibited a sense of machoism, a can-do attitude, risk-taking to prove myself and to impress others. I certainly suffered from press-on-itis, that overriding need to reach the hospital at any cost, and in doing so, blocked situational awareness and prudent decision-making, a powerful force that has killed many HEMS crews over the years. 35 years have passed since I nearly killed us that night. I've been a crew resource management instructor and facilitator for 30 of those years. I tell that story in my teaching all the time about nearly dying and flying to Bryan, Texas. I tell about how I should have said no, why I didn't, and how it's not only a right, but their responsibility. Had I been trained to recognize those attitudes, I would have avoided putting myself and my passengers in grave danger. I would have broken a link in the error chain by turning around earlier. 377 people have lost their lives on a HEMS helicopter since that night. It took me 6 hours to cut out each name and place them into their individual envelopes. Before my keynote address, speaking in front of 700 people at the Air Medical Transfer Conference in St. Louis, each envelope had been passed out to the audience members as they filed in. My wife told me I was the voice for the voiceless that morning. I was one of the lucky ones. I still had a voice to say no.